there. Gonna get you all situated. So, welcome to kmackleyart.com and my YouTube channel. And I wanted to take a moment to thank all of those who have supported the GoFundMe for Jalea. If you would like to still do so, we are always accepting the GoFundMe process as well. It helps provide for medical treatment, pay for hospital visits, and medical um, treatments, breathing treatments, medications, ambulance rides, all those things that have occurred. She's our 10-year-old daughter. So we want to say thank you for that as well. So, that being said, I wanted to say happy Memorial Day weekend. We are here, and I'm in my red and blue. My shoes are actually white for Memorial Day. And I wanted to take a moment to give you a promotion that is going on. So, in support of our family, my artwork does support our family, and we thank you so much for those of you who have purchased on our website. It supports us, and it gives you a really, really nice gift for you or someone else. But in this video, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what is the difference between a Giclee and an original. So, first of all, and what is a print too? Yes, there's a lot of options. So I thought, let's do a video and kind of go over it. So, an original, all of my artwork starts as an original. It's a blank canvas that I create my own ideas, my color palette, and my story. They all come from a story. So, this one in particular is called Radiant Grace. This is probably one of my favorites. It is a lot of the darker blues, but you've got the calmness of the light coming through. Um, the use of light and the solitude of the boat. All of my artwork that has kind of become who I am. My signature in my work is the play on light, the peacefulness and calmness that it brings, and a little bit of home, things that just touch to our hearts. And so I wanted to talk about the difference between the Giclee and the original. And so on this one, Radiant Grace was just kind of a reminder, how many times do we feel like we are just out there? But even though we're out there and we're going through things, the stormy looks kind of stormy, but there's always a peace because God gives us peace, right? And so that was this one. It was Radiant Grace because in the middle of all the darkness, his light overcomes all the darkness. So all my artwork has a story. And so on an original, it is completely a black canvas that I take my time. All the colors in it are mixed. I very rarely use anything straight out of the tube. And it's a process of painting and drying. I do use oils. And so I have a collection. At the very top is a seashell. And if you see my seashells, those are called the Tiny Treasure Collection. The Tiny Treasure Collection is my original collection, seashells that I collected here on St. Augustine Beach, Florida. And they just struck a chord in me. I remember I was walking on the beach asking the Lord, what should I paint? And me and my daughters was picking up seashells, we were looking at all the broken seashells. And it was like through all the brokenness, there's beauty in that. And that they saw those broken seashells as tiny treasures. And that's how God sees us in our brokenness sometimes, that we are like that tiny treasure seashell, that there's beauty in even our brokenness. So that's the Tiny Treasures collection. Then my next collection that this one came out of, this is probably one of the last of the um, Breaking into Beautiful collection. Most of that collection has already been sold as far as the originals. Breaking Into Beautiful was one of those series where we go through storms and there is the beauty at the end. I think sometimes we go through storms and we get so caught up in the storm that we forget that if we just endure it and put our faith in God, that He will get us through the storm. And not only does He get us through the storm, but it's beautiful. And then we go from being alone, but to not being alone. And so that was the beauty of Breaking Into Beautiful. My next series of originals that I'm going to be working on starts with family. If you see my little sandpipers at the top, they're accented with champagne gold. They're in the marsh. They're in a group together. There's peace in the group. Now, a lot of times I paint a lot of things that represent solitude and things like that. But now I'm going a little bit more into the family aspect. This collection is called Feels Like Home. What feels like home? Sometimes it's the marsh, it's our house. It's the little things around our house that makes us feel at home. It's our family. It's the people we call family. So that's my new collection coming up. So that gives you an idea of what is coming and has been with my originals collection. So that brings us to the conclusion of, well, what is a Giclee? So this is a Giclee. This particular piece is called the Dreamer. Now, this boat was actually on the St. Augustine Bay back on like a January, February. It was kind of foggy. I took a picture of it, and it was actually a larger piece. It was about this size right here, the original. The original sold. And so this is still one of the favorites that people like to get. Now, it is a Giclee because it is an archived print on canvas. Now, as I mentioned, an original, I mix the colors. So if you would take a photograph of this, you would more than likely go to Walmart or one of those quick prints, and you would not get the same color. Your color tones would not be the same. So a Giclee is a special machine that we scan the original painting, and it is printed with a machine that can replicate the colors almost identical to what the original was, giving you the same enjoyment of an original. Okay. It is also archived. It's archived for 100 years. So the materials that they use is top quality. You can get them in the 3/4 inch side, or you can do an 1.5 inches. I like to do the 1.5 inches, and then the wire is on the back. All of my pieces come with there we go, my sticker, a certificate of authenticity. Both my originals and Giclees come with a certificate of authenticity, and they are signed on the back. Now, we'll have a limited edition collection. That limited edition collection are pieces that are signed, numbered, and sometimes embellished. Embellished, meaning I painted over them. Okay. The cool thing about a Giclee is you can get any size that you need. That is so great. I get all the time, well, this piece is too big, or this piece is too small. I have this wall space that I need to fill. I have a tiny little space that I fill, or I have no wall space, but I really want this in my living room or my workspace. And so the cool thing about this is we can get it in any size that you want. If you want it embellished, and I'm out of ones already done, you can, for an additional fee, I can embellish it as well. But this is Dreamer. And the story behind Dreamer was never stop dreaming, and it's never too late to dream. And it was so funny because I didn't start painting till I was 48. I did not know that I could paint. And the Lord opened the door for me to do that. And I have learned over the last few years that there's a lot of artists that start a little bit later in life. And it's God's gift of healing from us to you. So that is what a Giclee is. And it's so cool. So this one is a Giclee. And this one is a Giclee. So you can get any size in the Giclees. Now, what is the difference between a Giclee and a print? So a Giclee is on canvas, stretch canvas, just like that. Now, an archive print is basically a Giclee on different types of paper. And you can do it like on a canvas paper or you can do it on an archive paper. All of these options are available. These are 45. Now, I do have some that have a matte and signature on them, and they are titled on the back. And then sometimes I can send them out without the map and different sizes. Even though the website says 8 by 10s, I can do any size, and these can be framed. Now, what is the difference price wise between an original and a Giclee? Well, my originals are a little bit more. They start at like 500 and up. I do have a few smaller pieces at 350. But they go up to 1,000 to 2,000 for my larger pieces. They can go a lot more than that depending on how big you want a piece. All right. Whereas Giclee on canvas is usually half the price of what an original would cost. And if you want it embellished, there's an additional fee for embellishment. Okay. And obviously, with the Giclee archived prints, they are also archived. You can get them in any size. And if you want a different size, email me and I can order that for you. Okay. So, what is my promotion? The promotion for um, this month and for Memorial Day weekend, all of my Giclees are free shipping, which is super. I'm glad that I can offer that to you during this month. In addition, this week, I am offering my originals at 10% off this week. Now, the free shipping only applies to the prints and Giclees. So thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, please reach out. Our website is kmackleyart.com. And thanks so much for listening and have a great day.